Facebook ads is now a creative game. The advertisers that can create the best and the most ad creative win. And that presents a real challenge for Facebook advertisers, and that's coming up with enough really good Facebook ad creative ideas to feed the machine. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use AI to do so quickly and easily. Now, you might be thinking that using AI to come up with a list of ad creative ideas is relatively straightforward. Surely you just jump into ChatGPT or an equivalent and you ask it something like this. Please come up with 10 Facebook ad ideas for my sunglasses brand. And then you go ahead and ask it, and it produces a bunch of options, some of which you like and you use, some of which you don't like and you don't use. And of course you can do that, and lots of Facebook advertisers are. But this method that's very simplistic does present some real issues, and the longer you use it, the more issues it presents. So firstly, when you do that, and trust me, we've done this a lot, you tend to find the same ideas come up again and again. It regurgitates the same stuff. So it might work really well for the first couple of rounds of new ad creative, but once you've done those and you've done the ones you like and you're asking ChatGPT or an equivalent, please produce some more, it'll often come up with things that are very similar. You think that's too similar, we really want to mix it up, we want to try and gain some sort of competitive advantage. The other problem with that approach is that if all your competitors are doing the same thing, which they probably are, you all end up making the same stuff, and that means nothing stands out. And if we know anything about marketing and advertising, differentiation is an incredibly important part of it. If you don't differentiate yourself from the competition, then your ads aren't going to work very well, if at all, right? So you need a more sophisticated system than simply doing that, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. I'll get to that in a second. And another technique that Facebook advertisers often use to try and find inspiration for new Facebook ad creative ideas, and one that I've recommended a lot in the past, is to use the meta ads library to try and find other ads that you might want to replicate. You could take a look at your competitors, you could take a look at businesses that operate in similar industries and take a look at their ads that look like they're doing well and try and replicate those. And that'll look something like this. So I'm here in the meta ads library. Obviously you need to select the right location and then the right category. But if I just bring up my own ads, for example, let's say someone was a competitor of mine and they were thinking, I wonder what ads Ben's making for his stuff. Let me see if I can look to replicate. You can come in here and you can see we've got 37 ads running right now. You can see the formats, you can see what we're advertising, and you take a look at these and you think, great, I will go ahead and produce something similar to this. But again, this strategy, whilst something I do recommend, it has its limitations and it's not very sophisticated. So firstly, very easy to find ads that are very difficult to copy, either because the company that you're looking to copy from has resources you don't have access to. This is very common for smaller businesses looking to model from what bigger businesses are doing, and you just can't replicate that. Or they have some sort of brand value that's very difficult to replicate. You also want to make sure you don't run into the issue of copying those ads too closely. Very easy to do. It won't fit, therefore, with your brand voice, which you want to differentiate from the competitor or the other business that you're looking to model from. And also, if your audience see the other ads from the other company, which is very likely if they're your competitors, well, A, that's not a good look. If people get an idea that you've copied from them, you will see comments along those lines in the comments. And B, they just won't be very effective because people have already seen that hook. They've already seen that creative. It's not going to have the impact. So the reason why I ran through both of those options, because that's what the majority of meta advertisers are doing right now to find inspiration for Facebook ad creative ideas. And I'm going to show you a way to combine the two so that you can create many rounds of creative ideas. You can do so quickly and easily without just running into the same stuff again and again and bypassing some of the issues that we've mentioned, and that's by using Poppy AI. So let me demonstrate how this works and how you can use Poppy AI to never run out of Facebook ad creative ideas again, which is, like I said, a big deal nowadays given how important ad creative is. So I'm in my Poppy account here and I'm going to go ahead and create a new board. Then what I'm going to do is grab some inspiration from ads that I found in the meta ads library. So these could be your own previous successful ads. This could be ads from your competitors that you feel that you like and look like they're doing well. Perhaps they've been run for a long time, or you can see when you go ahead and check out their profile, whatever, it's got a lot of social proof. Those are good indicators. It could be ads, like I said, from other businesses that are similar to yours that perhaps have found a new creative style that you like the look of and you would like to draw inspiration from. So you can simply grab the links to those ads and paste them in here. So if I jump back over to Meta Ads Library and we select some of the ads that we've got in here, right? So I can just go ahead and copy ad link and paste that in. And now Poppy's going to take a second to analyze it. And let's grab some more, right? So we can add some, again, you'd want to go through and make sure that these are ads that you're particularly happy with. I'm going to start by grabbing my own stuff because you may have previous successful stuff that you want to use as inspiration for new ideas. Let's grab that one, put that one in there. We could grab ones with different formats, for example. So here we've got like a carousel ad that we could grab the link to. Let's go ahead and put this in. I'll rearrange all these in a second. And how about this one, whiteboard one, which is a good performer for us. We've been running it quite a long time, and we can add that in, right? Okay, so I've got some of my own ads that have performed really well that we can use as sort of source material to generate ad ideas. And I can also add in links to organic content too. So for me, for example, that might be my YouTube channel where I could grab YouTube videos, but I could do it with Instagram Reels or LinkedIn posts or whatever. So if I jump over to my YouTube channel, for example, and I could grab some of the links to some of my YouTube videos, like that one, for example, is like a long form tutorial, and I could paste that in there, grab a handful of other ones, perhaps some of the more recent ones. Let's go ahead and grab a link to this and put that in there. And then obviously you can come up with a range that you feel a good source material would help it understand what it is that you talk about, the content, the industry you're in, what you sell, all that great information, okay? So now that I've got some of my ads in there, I've got in my case some YouTube videos, but like I said, you could draw from different sources here. I'm gonna go ahead and create a group, and I'm going to just rename this Ben Ad Inspiration. So these are all my source stuff, and this could be one way that you organize it, and then you wanna go ahead and pop things in here. Let me zoom out. It's going to make this quite a bit easier as we start to add things in. So we could go ahead and add in our various ads. We can make sure that the YouTube videos are added in there as well. So I can grab those in there, make this a little bit bigger, zoom out a little bit further, and make sure that everything is in this group node so that everything is sort of the inspiration that I might want to take from my own content is all nicely grouped in here, but we can repeat the same thing for a competitor. So for that, I'm going to jump back to the Meta Ads library and use one of the most recognizable names within the online marketing world, and that's Alex Hormozi, to find ads and organic content and be able to replicate a similar process, right? So we can come into Alex Hormozi and we can take a look at some of the ads and be like, aha, this is just the sort of ad that we want to be replicating, and we can go ahead, just like we did previously, look to paste that in there. I'm not going to put that in that group node there though, and then we could grab a few different examples. So here we go, let's say we grab this one as well. And like I said, you'd want to go through and make sure you were happy with the specific ones that you're looking at, because this is going to be the source material that inspirations and scripts are generated from. So let's go ahead and grab, we'll do the same thing. We'll grab 4 ads, and then we'll go ahead and grab a few YouTube videos of his as well. So you'd want to go through and make sure you identified the ones that you particularly liked and thought gave great information. And I'd like to talk about stuff like this as well in my ads, I'd like to include, and then, go through, and I'm just going to grab a few links for demonstration purposes. But we've already discussed like the steps to take and what it is that you're looking for. And then what I want to go ahead and do is create another group node. So we've got sort of our own stuff in here. We've got a competitor in here. Obviously you could repeat this process as many times as you want. You wouldn't just have to use the sort of one competitor I've done here. You could do this with lots of different competitors. So let's get all these elements added in here. Well, this whole video is obviously about ad creation and using like this source material and using Poppy to analyze it and use it as a great place to generate ad ideas. You could do this with organic content ideas as well. Like if you're trying to research, what should my next LinkedIn post? What should my next Instagram reel? What should my next YouTube video be? You could go through the exact same process. Okay, so we've got competitor ad inspiration there. We've got our own stuff in there, both organic content and ads. And then what we want to do is we want to go ahead and create an AI chat. And let me just make that a little bit bigger so we can see. And then what we can do, and this is one of the smartest things and one of the best things about Poppy, is we can connect up this group node here of all our source material, but also connect up this group node here of all a competitor's group material, in this case Alex Hormozi stuff, and then we can jump in to the chat. Then within the AI chat, this is where I'm going to ask it to produce the Facebook ad creative ideas for me. You can come down here and select the AI option of your choice. So Claude is the default, and actually speaking to the people at Poppy, that's what they typically recommend. But if you wanted to use GPT or another option, then you can. I'm just going to go with the default, which is fine. And then I'm going to ask it something like this. Okay, so let me paste this in here, and then I'm going to talk through what I am asking for and the context that I'm giving. And it's important that you get this right, basically ask the right question, because that's going to impact the results that you are provided with when it comes to the ad creative ideas here. Okay, so I've got, I'm a Meta Ads content creator and want to create ads selling my Meta Ads mentorship program. So a bit of context, this is what I'm looking to sell. My mentorship program includes exclusive educational material, unlimited one-to-one support, multiple daily live calls and Q&As with me and my expert team members. So giving some information around what it is we're looking to sell here. That's obviously going to be an important part of generating the ad ideas to help sell that thing. So you want to give some context. To sell my mentorship program, we ask prospects to book a call with us using the calendar on our website. So what's the sale funnel structure? That's going to impact the CTA recommendations that are given when you ask it to produce ad creative ideas. So that's important. What are the next steps after someone interacts with an ad? Then you want to let it know, who are you going to be advertising to? Who are these ads for? These ads will be shown to a mix of warm and cold audiences. Most of the audience are small business owners and marketers that have a good understanding of Meta Ads but aren't experts. So it's saying who they are. Some have interacted with us before, some haven't. They have a level of understanding, so we don't need to go right in at the beginner level, but they're not like full-fledged experts, otherwise they probably wouldn't be interested in mentorship in the first place. Please create a list of 10 Meta ad creative ideas that are highly engaging, including multiple hooks for each. If you are asking for creative ideas and you're going to be creating video ads, huge fan of creating multiple hooks. I've talked about this previously, but just to recap, the hook is the first 3 seconds, and that's what either grabs your audience's attention or not. And it can absolutely make or break your ad, because if it doesn't grab their attention, if it doesn't interest them, they're not going to consume the rest of it. They're never going to hear about the benefits or features associated with your product or service. They're not going to hear the call to action. They're not going to take the action that you want them to take. So very, very important to get the hook right, and that's why we like to create lots of different hook variations, because instead of just having one go at that ad working, if we can create 4 or 5 hooks or more for each ad, we have 4 or 5 goes or more at it working. We can also use different hook variations to help overcome ad fatigue, and if we have a winner, then run that ad for a lot longer, because a hook could be as simple as a different opening line, it could be a different opening scene, you know, sometimes as simple as that's one camera angle is one hook, we put the camera there, another camera angle is another hook, other times it might be a different location. But just to very quickly recap hooks, I've got other videos on that. That's not super important to this video, but I want you to ask 4 different hook variations when you do go ahead and ask based on the information provided. Right, so we've asked what we need to ask, we've given it context, we've got some source material. Like I said, we would normally have more stuff in here, and then we start to see the options that are created, right? Okay, so let's quickly run through some of these, right? So we've got number 1, the upside down results. So concept, start video upside down, flip it right side up when mentioning transforming results with the opening line. See the hook variations here. Want me to turn your ad results upside down? You could see the video being flipped around. I've done one like that in the past. So that's obviously being drawn on here. We've got hook variations. What if I told you failed campaigns are actually gold mines? Stop looking at your ad account upside down. Ready to flip your ROAS from red to green. Interesting stuff in there. The daily access shock value. Emphasize the unprecedented level of daily support. So this is going to be an ad very much focused on, we offer something that other people don't offer, you know, unlimited one-to-one support, multiple daily live calls. Like, that genuinely is a very strong selling point. And hook options have been created. Multiple live calls every single working day. Yes, really. What no other mentorship offers. Daily live access to 600 million plus ad experts. You can see the hook variations. And it's come up with quite different options here. Behind the scenes reveal to show how it works. The common mistakes, so educational value-based ads, real-time problem solving, show live problem solving scenarios. That would be quite difficult for us to create. So like with all AI generated options, you need to be the filter. Some things are going to be really good. Some things you're going to go, I'm not sure. We can either do that from a production standpoint, or we can actually make that work in an ad, like real-time live problem solving scenarios would be very difficult to do. Exclusive access, FOMO based stuff, and you've got format recommendations, the before after transformation carousels. We've created ads like that in the past. That makes total sense. The industry insider secrets type ad, share advanced strategies, insider knowledge, high value post day in the life documentary style, the question everything challenge option. Everything you know about Facebook ads is wrong. You've seen those sorts of things in the past, I'm sure, but they can work very well. And then we've also got this bonus creative elements to include. So we've got visual element recommendations. So we've got screen recordings of actual ad accounts, live call, screenshots, footage, student testimonials and results, behind the scenes mentorship moments, real-time notification student wins. Those are fantastic recommendations for things to include visually. And I love that it does that as well as just coming up with like hook variations and scripting variations, things like that. And we've got social proof integration, 600 plus million generated for clients, 1,000 plus successful students, case studies. And then we've got call to action variations as well. Book your strategy call. Remember, it knows that's what we're looking to do. Apply for mentorship, get your free consultation, claim your spot, schedule your call, etc., etc. So included some really useful things that it would be important to think about before you actually go ahead and create some stuff. But now what we want to do is you want to take one of these ideas and flesh it out. So if I scroll back up to one I particularly like, let's see what we got here. How about this one, right? So we've got the daily access shock value, so number 2, and I'll go with the hook, what no other mentorship offers daily live access to 600 plus million ad experts. So please write a full ad script for video 2 with this hook. I'm sure I'm going to get comments, people saying, you don't need to write please. It just feels weird to not. So I do when interacting with AI. And then we ask it away and we can scroll down and we can see, look, a full video plan is being created. The hook, what no other mentorship offers, daily live access to 600 plus million ad experts. And we've got the hook in there. We've got the opening scene, how it would be recommended to film it. So direct to camera, confident energy for that first line, pause for impact, slight lean forward. Then it's got problem agitation, slightly frustrated tone, hand gesture of emphasis. Look, I get it. You've probably joined mentorships before and you submit a question and maybe you get a response in 3 to 5 business days. Eye roll, shake of the head. Amplify the problem. You're stuck, etc. The revelation. Here's what I realized after generating over 600 million for our clients. So it knows to put in that proof element, that expertise positioning. When your campaign breaks at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, you can't wait until next week's group call to fix it. So we did something insane, multiple live calls and Q&As with me and my team every single working day. And you can go on and on. Now, there might be elements of this that you need to tweak and change that might not be appropriate for your offer. You always need to be the filter with AI-based stuff. But this is really quick and easy to do. You grab a bunch of examples, you make sure you ask it the right question with the context, you get a bunch of ideas with lots of different hook variations, you simply ask it to flesh out one of those ideas, as I have done here, to produce a full script and I don't know what it would be called in technical, like filming language, but scene stuff is recommending scenes, is recommending tones and energy and things like that. You could go on to further to ask for different locations and all sorts. This is a much better, more sophisticated and easier way to produce lots of high quality Facebook ad creative ideas. And because the guys over at Poppy AI are awesome, they've created a special offer for my audience specifically, and that's if you use the code Heath, you get $25 off all plans. There's also a link in the video description below. You can click on that and it'll automatically apply that discount. And if your Facebook ad results are important to you, then your Facebook ad creative is incredibly important. Like I said, Facebook ads is a creative game, and that means that coming up with lots of really good ad creative ideas is incredibly important to you achieving your goals. This is the quickest and easiest way to do it, so I'd strongly recommend you sign up to Poppy AI.